Hi, we're here today at the Burlington Friends Meeting House celebrating CCTV's 41st anniversary. And today we're going to be doing some interviews with people who work with CCTV.
I'm Gary DeCarlis. I'm host of Celebrate Life, a monthly show that I interview various people in the community of all different backgrounds and histories. Thanks.
Amazing.
Thanks. So the question is, what kinds of media does our community need more of? And I guess quickly thinking about that, I would say as much kind of what we're doing right here now, that talking to people that are just out and about in the community and what's going on for them and what are their concerns, what are their hopes, and just live media as much as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and say what you do at CCTV? Sure. All right, awesome.
My name is Mark Johnson. I am a big fan of CCTV. I happen to be married to the founder, Lauren Glendavidian. Have done election night coverage and avid watcher.
Amazing.
Now do I. When was the last time you were on TV? On CCTV or anywhere? Anywhere. Okay. Well, I do. Oh, this is great. This gives me an opportunity to plug my podcast that I do on WCAX. It's 802 News, and I was just on last week. I have another podcast coming out next week where I'll be interviewing Joe Carroll, who's I do a lot of politics, but I'm doing something a little different this time. I interviewed Joe Carroll, who is a videographer for WCAX. He's been there 40 years and was diagnosed last year with cancer and has prostate cancer and is in remission. So it's a very positive story. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Any follow-up questions?
I'm not used to interviewing, to be honest. Do you remember the first time you were on TV?
The first time I was on TV, that's a really good question. It probably was when I was in Burlington. I'll tell you, one of the first times I remember I was on TV was being interviewed by Lauren Glenn with her Media Maker series. That was back in the late 1980s when I was the City Hall reporter for the Burlington Free Press. And she was asking me about whether commercial interests influence the news. And I, of course, naively thought that they don't. But, of course, they do. So that was one of the first times I was on TV, and the Media Maker series.
Okay, my name is Jim Jones. I've written 10 history books, all railroad transportation subjects, under the name James R. Jim Jones. And I like colorful shirts. Today's it's not very colorful, but people tell me it's kind of a cool shirt. So that's not the story, though, that needs to be told. I will admit that I'm a foreigner. I came here all the way from Colchester, Vermont, across the river, and it's only been probably the last 6 months that I became aware of CCTV when I was asked to give a presentation on the Burlington area trolley history. So I did that, and then I became hooked, and since then I've been getting some of my friends to appear with me on Town Meeting Television to talk about various things of interest. So far we've talked about transportation from Burlington's horse trolley that they used to have to the electric trolleys to today's buses. And because I have 40 years in radio broadcasting, I thought it'd be kind of fun at some point to get together some of the familiar voices of the past, and people can hear some of their stories and see them on camera. So hopefully that's a story that needs to be told that I'll get to help tell.
Hi, Lily. I'm Cindy Mackin. I used to be a board member of EEE, Education and Enrichment for Everyone, which is how I got to get involved with CCTV in Travis. So as a media intern, which I think is a wonderful idea, I have a question, and that's as you look at CCTV and your position here, whose story needs to be told?
For me? Okay. The mic is passed over. Whose story needs to be told? I have to think on that. That's a good question. I think, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't have their story told. I guess my aunt comes to mind, and I don't know. Actually, wait, can I start over? Hold on. Well, go ahead.
I'm just wondering why your aunt comes to mind.
Well, my aunt struggled with mental illness in the past, and I think it's something that is pretty complicated, and it's not often represented well in media. But I think she has a really interesting story, and it's important to share those kinds of stories when they're not often given space in media. So yeah. Yeah. What about you? What would you say?
That's an even better question. Well, actually, I have mental illness in my family too. But the one that comes most to mind to me is my brother, who was cognitively impaired and passed away a year ago Tuesday. And he was just his life as someone who was disabled. And as I look at the benefits that he got throughout his later years when he was physically disabled as well as mentally, and how those are being taken away from people now is really frightening. So stories of the disabled.
I am involved in an organization called EEE, Vermont, Education and Enrichment for Everyone, in which CCTV is a partner of ours. And they stream our lectures live. Actually, not live. They stream our lectures. And, about 60 people come to each meeting, but maybe 30 or 40 connect via the web. So it kind of extends the lectures.
Nice. What's your question that you have there?
My question is, if you could interview anyone in our community, who would it be? And so you're posing that question to me. Well, there's a lot of interesting people in our community, but I think, based on sort of the current events, sort of overarching concern right now for me is the question of immigration. I would like to interview somebody who is either being deported, in the process of being deported, or about to be deported. And there's a couple of people I can think of. One of the persons is a student at Tufts who was just lifted off the street and brought to Burlington. Because I think they were brought to Burlington because there's a detention center close by. But that I would like to find out more about exactly what that means to them, because I think it means a lot to everybody.
I think it is incredibly important that we have media that covers what's going on, especially in the times we're in now, right? So, oh my gosh, yes, I think it's vital, and especially local coverage, that I think the population of a local channel is more trusting of something like CCTV than a big media. So, yes, I think it's essential. It's an essential service.
Oh, okay.
Everybody should give lots of money to them so they can keep it.
And what do you do at CCTV?
Well, right now I host a monthly program on the F-35. It's called The Hidden Whys of the F-35s. Like, I'm an activist against that. So, and I've been on it a few times in the past when I ran for city council in South Burlington, and been in some debates and discussions. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So much. So we have a few questions here.
Yes, sure.
And if you'd like to choose one just randomly.
Okay, is this one the decorated? Or?
Go ahead. No one's chosen it yet.
All right. Okay. So you want me to read this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So it says, think about your own work or an organization you're familiar with. Are you making efforts to make information accessible to people who speak languages other than English? What changes would you make that would make it more accessible? So, the organization that I'm associated with right now is the South Burlington Land Trust. I'm the president of that. Am I making effort to make information accessible to people who speak languages other than English? Well, we did have a show on CCTV about the Land Trust and what we did, but the only language I speak fluently is English. I speak a little German, but not enough to discuss it. So I don't know how I would do that. The answer to that question is no, because I'd never thought about it. And what changes could you make that would make it more accessible? Well, I am taking a course in Spanish, but I'm a long way away from having a discussion in Spanish. But I don't know. I don't know if there's instant translators we could use. I mean, I know there's a lot of, dare I say, AI. Would they translate? Could we get subtitles if we did a show in other languages? I don't know. That might be something CCTV related, but other than that, I don't know. I don't know how to do that because I don't know people who speak languages other than English that could translate. So.
Yeah. I'm Lily. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Stephen Brown, and I'm a chef, and I'm also on the steering committee for Wards 4 and 7. I've been on there for a year, and I just got reelected to another year. And I came to CCTV the first time through Mercy Connections Vermont Community Leadership class. I took a 15-week class, and we got to come down there and make a video, which was played at Hulu for their annual fundraiser. And my mission through my class at Vermont Community Leadership is to make the NPAs work better together. And as a chef, I want to call all NPAs, calling all wards, let's have a barbecue for all the wards. And that's been my project. I've already thrown it to the mayor. I had a meeting with her a couple weeks ago. And in the future, we're hoping to have an all wards barbecue. And we think it'll happen. So and I love CCTV. I wear my hat all the time now. Charlie comes to our NPA and videos it every month. So we're very appreciative. And we think it's great. So.
That's awesome. Would you like to go
Okay.
ahead and, a good question to answer? There you go. Thank you.
When was the last time you were on TV? It was a very short time ago, yeah. I can't remember, only a couple of months ago. I think Travis was there, he gave us the tour. And she bought me the hat, and we made a donation, and that's how we got invited to this, I believe. So thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Lauren Glendavidian. I work at CCTV. I do public policy work. Mohammed?
Okay. Mohammed Al-Rubai. I work in CCTV. I'm the CCTV co-director.
And he runs the books. He runs the money. Right?
Yeah, I manage the money, yes.
Yeah, you do. Thank God. And you just ask us a question. We don't have to choose.
Oh, okay. What kinds of media does your community need more of?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You had a good answer for me earlier today.
Well, I think everyone should have a chance to be part of community media. So everyone is welcome.
So what do we need more of? We need more outreach, so more people are making community media and participating, right? We need more community media.
Yes, we try to engage the young people like yourself to come and make shows and be part of the community media.
And, honestly, I would like to hear from people I don't agree with.
Me too.
Because I think that it's really hard to hear what people think because everything's so polarized right now. And it's sort of boring just to listen to the left all day long. I'd like to hear what people are concerned about, no matter what it is they're concerned about.
Yes, like I said, everyone is welcome.
Exactly. And now, next question.
There's no break. Oh my God. You got me in this.
It's all right. We're doing
Good
it.
trick.
We're doing
I'm
it.
doing it.
All right. What do you think life is like for Vermonters who can't speak or read English?
Oh, well, You go first.
No, you go first because you have probably better insight into that question than I do.
Well, I wish if there is more schools open for to learn English when you just arrive to US. That will be really helpful. Also, there is maybe other program could help, or just go to the college. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think you're shut out of a lot of what's happening in the community if you don't understand the language. And if you can't read it, I mean, so much information is delivered online on the web. And if you have needs, I mean, if you're coming and you don't really know the language that well, you probably have some economic issues. And it makes it more difficult for you to participate in the economics and the jobs and establish yourself and get enough resources to participate more fully. So I think you're pretty shut out unless there's some resources to help you.
I agree with that. Totally, 100%. Thank you.
That's why we have the Vermont Language Justice
Yes,
Project.
yes. I think, like inside the community, there is always a person who can speak English and can teach the other, all help the others to understand the right or what they have to do or how to apply for a job. So I think the community can help each other and they are helping each other, but also they need a lot of resources to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great.
Yourself and your role at CCTV to the camera.
My name's Ed Carroll. I live in Grand Isle, and my connection to CCTV goes back to the time that Lauren Glenn and I were together in the Lake Champlain Regional Chamber of Commerce's Leadership Champlain program at the beginning of time. Yeah. Yeah. What else would you like to hear from me?
Would you like to read the question?
Do you want me to read this?
Sure, go ahead.
If you could interview anyone in our community, who would it be? Well, it would be Lauren Glenn. I mean, she's had an incredible career here, and I'd like to know an awful lot more about it.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and your role at CCTV?
I'm Linda Eyre, and my husband Nat was one of the founders, and I supported him through this, and he gave it absolutely his all, working sometimes about 18 hours a day.
Oh my goodness.
And what else should I tell you?
Well, do you want to pick one of the questions here?
Sure.
And then any question you want.
Oh, actually,
This one?
this one. I was just with Miles the other day, and he showed me an old video that Nat had taken of the hot dog lady, who used to be a staple on Church Street. I don't know if you were here at that point. My kids also called her the cookie lady. I didn't do a very good job interviewing. My husband was much better at it, but it was fun to see. Times way back when.
What did the hot dog lady do? It was
She had a cart. She used to own a hairdressing salon on Church Street, but when she retired from that, she had a cart that her husband would faithfully bring down for her every day. And she was a known entity. And even, there's a new restaurant sort of diagonally across from Lunig's. It used to be called Sweetwater's, and there was a beautiful mural on the wall in Sweetwater's, and it included the hot dog lady.
Oh, that's awesome.
She was definitely a fixture.
Aww.
So I think that's the last time I was on TV.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
So I get to pick one, huh?
Yes. Go
All right.
ahead.
I'm nervous.
Do you want to read the question aloud?
Oh my gosh, this is like probably the worst one for me to get. If you had to make a TV show about something right now, what would it be? So I feel like this is a hard question, ironically. We have like a little like station set up there with like VHS tape boxes. We were like, okay, have somebody, let's have people draw on them and like design whatever show they'd want to create or would want to see. And then I was thinking, I was like, I should probably have a sample one so people know what to do. And then I couldn't think of like a show that I would want to have. So I actually have my own show on Town Meeting TV with my coworker Chris. We do a podcast called Team Yap, the Pokemon podcast. So we tie it back to community as much as we can, but a lot of the times it's just kind of whatever hot topic Pokemon thing is going on in the moment. But that's kind of like a cop-out of this question, I think, because the question is if I had to make a TV show about something right now, what would it be? And so I think probably what I would do my TV show on is I would invite folks in from different kind of like niche communities. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think something that I would love to do is, so I'm in a lot of like community-based Facebook groups, and both for work, but also just like personally. I like to join as many as I can, even if I have no connection to the community, because it's just so interesting to me to see like, it's another like version of hyperlocal where, we cover a lot of hyperlocal content, and then you have these really niche Facebook groups that are like people talking about like what's going on a very specific street in a town I've never been in. So I think it would be cool to like invite people in from these different community groups to like have conversations with each other, because I think a lot of what gets posted, people are like angry about something or confused or frustrated by things. And then there's a lot of discourse in the comments. I think it would be so cool to invite people that are participating in that discourse in the comments to actually like have a conversation face to face about the issue that they've posted about in the Facebook. How logistically would that happen? I don't really know, but I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, almost like a drama sort of thing.
Exactly, yes.
I like that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, totally.